nerves of the body and that pathway leading to the brains and the nerves of the brain, which are called neurons. So it's a neural pathway. I didn't hear it? Okay. Starting over. Okay. Welcome, everybody. Happy 2021, and I hope you had a good holiday. Today we are going to talk about pathways, and we're going to talk about how we can use this concept of that abnormalities don't cause pain. Well, they're just the information that comes from abnormalities that are found in the body. We already said that they do not cause pain, but the signals coming from a certain area of the body may be an ingredient in the pain experience. Information coming in, and then we have the outputs of the brain, which are all the reactions of the brain, including pain, muscle tightness, inflammation. These are all outputs of the brain. Okay. So how can we use that information to affect the therapy? So a lot of times people come to me and they say, well, Oren, you're a physical therapist. You're not going to be able to change the herniated disc. You're not going to be able to change the, a rotator cuff tear or, problem with the ligament. And so I'd agree. But that doesn't mean that I cannot change the pain experience, because the pain experience does not happen at the abnormality. I'm going to give you an analogy of a cornfield. Imagine a pristine cornfield and one person walking through the cornfield. Well, you're not going to know where that person went through the cornfield because it was just one person. If a lot of people start using that same pathway in the cornfield, then it will forge a pathway. And after a while, it will become evident what that pathway is. Similar thing happens in the body, except instead of a cornfield, it's the pathway of the nerves of the body and the neurons of the brain. Okay? The information goes up these pathways, and if you just have one momentary incident that activated the pain experience, then it's just like one person walking through a cornfield. That pathway is not forged. But with chronic pain, what happens is the same pathways are forged and reinforced constantly. So it becomes a neural pathway, neural from as in the nerves and the neurons of the brain, it becomes a neural pathway that can be used not only by toxic information, like a nail going through your skin, but also maybe pleasant information for one person may become unpleasant for another, like a massaging or kneading. And many people with fibromyalgia, for example, will tell you that when somebody comes and starts rubbing their shoulders, for them it's excruciating, it's agonizing, it's not pleasant at all. So these are neural pathways which are forged, and it makes it easier for that information to go up pathways that are associated with the pain, activating the pain response, the pain experience that we're trying to avoid. So how can we use that information to modify something and make it so a particular movement is not painful? Well, as a physical therapist, I may not be able to change a particular abnormality. let's say in a shoulder movement, but I can modify that movement in some way so that as the person does the movement, a different neural pathway is being used. A parallel pathway, if you like, is being used. And then we reinforce this new pathway, which is not associated with the pain experience, which does not activate the pain response. And therefore, by reinforcing a parallel pathway, the, the person can start using that parallel pathway to do that movement. And then that movement becomes not a painful movement. So that's why when people say to me, yes, but you're not going to be able to change the abnormality. My MRI says that I have, a bulging disc or whatever it is. I say this is correct. I cannot change the abnormalities, but the disconnect is that abnormalities do not cause the pain, but the processing and the outputs is what leads to the pain experience. So we can change that processing by creating parallel pathways. And remember, this is just one method that we have available to us. Understanding pain science opens up a whole world of opportunities for us to be very creative and come up with different ways that we can change the pain experience. Whereas in a world of where we believe that abnormalities cause pain, really the only recourse you have is to cut out the abnormality or to fix the abnormality, which gives us a very, very limited scope of what we can do. So anyway, that is, to summarize, we don't need to change the abnormalities in order to reduce or eliminate pain. We need to change the processing. And that's one of the things that we do at Rebalancing Health. Next time, we'll talk about another method of altering and reprocessing, repackaging, if you like, the pain experience. So please tune in, and we'll see you soon.